What I'm going to do today is show you how to change background images. If we have a look on the front of my site, I've normally got a background image here. A background image is normally in a section, so it goes from one side of the screen to the other. That way you can put other elements on top of it, other modules like text modules and things. I've actually done a pattern here, which is it's a new thing with the Divi Builder, but I'll show you how I do it. If we go into the back of the site, what I normally do is make a test page. I've called this one B, and I save it as a draft over here. I don't publish it because I don't want Google to pick that up. I just want to use it to experiment, basically. What I normally do is I use a page that I'm going to use. What I mean by that is I'm going to take the front page, save it onto the draft page so that I can play around with it. And how you do that is you look for this little plus sign here, click on that, load from library. You can see here with the pop-up box you've got pre-made layouts, your saved layouts and your existing pages. I'm going to copy a page, so that's what I want to do. I've got a load of pages on this site, so this one you just scroll through until you find the page that you want to copy and experiment on. That's the one that I want to use. So you just wait for that to load, and it's loaded. Right, you can either work on it with the blocks, but I think most people now have started to work on the front end. Now you've got two boxes here, buttons here. One, return to standard editor. Never ever touch that one. Build on the front end. That's not the way that we want to do this. The best way to do it, you've got some little symbols here, and this one is for desktop view, that one's for tablet, and that one's for mobile. So if we go to the desktop view, this will actually allow me to work on that page, but it's not the real page, it's my B test page, so I can do whatever I want here without it affecting anything. Now, as I said, normally I've actually got a background image here, but I've put a pattern in, but I'm just going to change that to show you how you do it. So you look for the blue outer section. The elements inside that section that appear on the top of the section, that's in the green row, and the modules are always grey. So you look for the blue section, you click on the cog wheel, which will open up all the elements to do with that section, which, as I said, goes from one side of the screen to the other. Normally you have a background color and very often a background image. So this is within the content. Go down to background, you'll see desktop, tablet and phone. You'll also see all these little symbols here. The first one, when you hover over them, there's a pop-up so you can see what they are. This one's a background color, background gradient, and that's what I've actually used for this pattern that I've done. So I'm actually going to get rid of that for now. Right, so that's plain. I don't want a background color, I want a background image. So I'll click that one, which is the background image. There's a plus sign in the middle, you click on that to add a background image. Very often you'll already have an image there, so you're replacing it for something else. What I'll do is put an image that I've had before from the media library when it opens. If you don't have the image in the media library and you want to upload it from your computer, you click over here to upload files, select a file from your computer to upload and use. But I've got the one that I want in the media library. It's got a tick there, so I know that that's the one. Upload image, and as you see, that will put it in there. I've still got something else on here which I'm going to get rid of. because I just want to work with the image only. So I'll delete that as a little delete sign. So now I've just got the image behind all the elements, which is what I wanted. Now, when you've got the background image, what you have to bear in mind is you've got a very small window normally for a background image. So you're very unlikely to be able to display the little piece that perhaps you particularly want to see. And everybody has different screen sizes. So what tends to happen is, I'll show you this on one of my other pages on the site where I've already got that background image in, on the contact page. You can see there on this big full screen, you've only got a very small amount of the section there. On a home page, you tend to have a much larger section, but this is what it looks like on different screen sizes. So on a mobile, you see more of the top and bottom of the image, but you can see it's got smaller, obviously. This is a normal laptop size. Basically what happens, different screen sizes will see different amounts of that image that you choose. This isn't a very good one to use, but let's say you had a beach scene with the sky above it, and you want to get some of the beach and some of the sky. It's not always feasible for that to happen because of the section that you're using. Let me just go back to back to the home page. Right, with this one you've got your image. You'll see here this one is already set for use parallax effect. What parallax effect does is as you scroll, you'll see everything moves over the image. You've got two methods: parallax method CSC, which is faster, and true parallax, which makes the movement up over it much smoother and slower. I'm going to use CSS for this. Now we can swap that image again. You click on the image, replace it with another large image, that one will do. And now I've got a different image there. If you don't want the scroll effect, you just click no there. And what that will then do is we'll make it a static image. So everything moves up together. There's no scrolling over. Now you've got, the only one that you could possibly change is no, don't change those. It covers, so it goes from left to right, which is all you really need. I'll show you what happens if you click some of the other ones. Fit, that gives you the actual image size, which you know, you're not going to want to use it like that. Actual size, that's the actual size of the image by keeping the dimensions. It's not the whole image, not the top, not the bottom. We just don't have enough space there to do that. There's lots of things, but if you're doing this on a test page, it means you can play around with it. Now there's some brilliant new effects, which is what I've been using, but it's up to you whether you want to be more arty with what you're doing there. What I'll do is, firstly I'm going to make that cover, because that's the sort of default that you need. Background mask. Now what happens here, it's really neat and it's very new. You click add background mask. You can see it's picked up one already. Click here and you'll see all the different masks which will make it. For instance, we've got this one which has got the arrows. What it does is pick bits of the pictures out and adds this kind of masking effect. The one that I did on the front was this one, which I quite liked. you can see it more clearly if you've got a different image. So I'll show you that actually. I'll change that background image back to this one with all the patterns. You always save by ticking the green box. I just find that quite neat, but for most people it's probably a bit too much. I'm going to change it, go back to the background. So you've got a background mask. You can then put a pattern on these if you want. That one's spots, polka dots. You click on here and you've got all these different patterns which overlay. With the right kind of images you can get some brilliant effects, but it's how far you want to go. Always remember to, if you're playing around like this, to undo it, just take it back by clicking the trash bin. So don't want the pattern, don't want the background mask. I just want the image as it is. This is a very simplistic way of showing you, but that's how you change images. And as I said, don't forget, you're going to see not particularly the part of the image that you want. You can't position that image to be where you want it to be, because again, everybody has got different screen sizes, different screen resolutions. They're not all going to see what you're seeing, and that's another reason why with background images I tend to use something as neutral as possible, not something so specific. I've got enough elements here for people to be looking at or studying without them trying to study the background, and they're not going to be doing that. A background image is purely that. It's an image to fade into the background and make something look more aesthetically pleasing. That's how you do it. When you have saved the changes that you make, if you're doing it on a test page, you save it as a draft. If you're doing it on a real page, you publish it so that you can see what it looks like. The good thing with working in one of these modes is that you can actually see what it's going to look like. You can also, that's your desktop view, have a look at what it will look like on a tablet. You can see again it changes what is actually going to be seen with that image on a desktop, and then you can also do it on a mobile so that you can again see what other people are going to see when they view this on a mobile. They're not going to see the whole image because the image, it has to stretch to fit the elements that are over it. So it has to change to fit the text, the pictures that you've got over it, all of these things. So there's a lot to bear in mind, but you want to check it on each one just so that it doesn't look horrendous. And believe me, on a mobile with a background image, people are not going to be sat there staring at it.